Welcome to this video series where we are going to dive into the elements, how you can maximize your talents without maxing out on your energy. In this video, we are going to talk about the water signs. The water signs are the most intuitive, the most sensitive and emotional signs there are. Now, this doesn't mean they're overly emotional. They just experience their emotions on such a different level. It's like the connection with their emotions is this ongoing process. It's this ongoing connection that some other signs, like for instance air signs, have much more trouble with. Water signs, they're so intuitive. They feel their way through the world. They're not rational. They're not overly practical. They like to feel their way. They really like to stay in this flow state. So air signs like to float up, whereas water signs like to flow in the waters of the unconscious. They love to dive into the deeper layers of our being. And like the difference with, for instance, air signs is they think more on the earthly realm, whereas water signs are really more about the spiritual part of it, the unconscious, but also the darkness, the things that lay under the surface. So that's what water signs really love to do. The biggest lesson for water signs is to acknowledge their own feelings. What they are feeling is valid. What they're experiencing is valid. What they go through is 100% valid. And their gifts, that they can tune into other people's energies, that they can tune into this higher knowing, that is worth to share with the world. A lot of people with a lot of water in their charts, they are afraid to share their gifts because maybe people think they're weird or people don't understand it, but that is fine. You have such a unique gift. You can really see through people. That is something that needs to be shared with the world. At the same time, it is really important for you to find the balance between where your emotions stop and the emotions of someone else begin. Because you absorb a lot of energy, make sure that you know when you are experiencing someone else's energy and when you're experiencing energy that is really yours. The first one up is Cancer, and Cancer is a cardinal water sign. Cardinal, again, is more of the startup energy, so it's the fresher type of energy. Cancer is the mother sign of the zodiac, whereas Capricorn is the father, Cancer is the mother. So it's really typical for people who have a lot of Cancer energy to be very caring, very nurturing, have a motherly type of energy. It doesn't mean that you have to be a mom to express these qualities, but the mothering of friends, of family, of pets, people around you, it comes very natural to you. When it comes to business, this is something that, because of your softer shell, because of this way of being open and inviting to everybody, you're not the hard business type. And maybe you see this as a disadvantage, but I highly recommend you to shift your perspective and see it as something that you're good at. Because you're not the hard, the pushy, the aggressive type of business owner, you are the one who understands people. You are the one who invites other people in a very gentle and caring and nurturing way. And if you can embrace this even more and allow yourself to be in that place of nurturing, to be in that place of a loving care, that you care for people like no one else can. You also have this softer way of going through life, so people are naturally drawn to you. For instance, like going to a networking event might not be high on your priority list, and neither does it have to be. But once you meet someone, you instantly know whether it's someone you would want to be with, or you want to work with, or not. Trust that instinct. Because that's also one of your pitfalls, where you feel like you have to be maybe more practical or maybe less emotional, that you kind of blame your emotions to cloud your judgment. But trust your feeling. Trust that inner whispering that says, don't go there, or go after this opportunity. Really allow yourself to go in that space more often, because people really love to work with gentle, caring souls. Not everybody needs a very strict, hard, tell it as it is person. You are perfect for people who like a softer approach. You're perfect for people who don't like to just be told everything. They like to be cared for and not necessarily be like in your face and this is what it is and this is what you're going to do. So trust your instinct. At the same time, don't get overwhelmed by what everybody else is doing, because your way of doing business is very unique. It's much more focused around the caring and less around the targets and the goals. Now, of course, you still need those. You still need to set up the structures. You still need to have goals in mind. But the way you move through the structures is very different. It is like water. It just finds a way to go through. And that is the way you can see it. So if you set up the structure, you still have the flexibility. You still have the flow and the movement that comes natural to you. And the more that you allow that natural flow to go through the structure, the bigger of an impact you will have. Because using your empathic abilities to grow your business is much more important than all the marketing strategies that are out there. So allow yourself to focus on that, to believe in yourself, and to not get distracted by others. Because you have to be really specific with who you work with and who you want to give your energy to. The next one up is Scorpio. And Scorpio is a fixed water sign. And Scorpio is not the fluffy, soft type of water energy at all. Scorpio is often perceived as very intense, very straightforward, and really knows what it wants and how to get there, and is not afraid to go there. Scorpios often tell it as it is, which is very confronting for some people, but they really like to just go straight for it. And the way that Scorpio differs a lot from Cancer is that it is much more confident, and it's much more able to see where it wants to go. So it is also empathic, it is also highly sensitive, but on a very different level. So let's say Cancer is more on the earthly realm, also in the unconscious, but Cancer doesn't like to go that deep. Whereas Scorpio, they like to go all the way down deep into the unconscious and search for the deepest, darkest corners you can find in your unconscious. So when a Scorpio experiences that you have some resistance, they can call you out on it. When they sense something is up, they literally call you out. And not in a subtle way, like maybe you're feeling this. They just like, boom, straight out there. Which for some people can be a bit too much. So make sure that when you call people out, that they're ready to be called out. And actually that they want to be called out in a way. But you'll be able to sense that. So in business, this really works because you have a focus and a drive to go. Different than from the fiery drive, your drive is to, you take it very seriously, you go where you need to go, you do what you need to do, and you're very focused on where it is that you're going. And whereas earth signs are very practical, Scorpio takes this into a very spiritual realm. So it doesn't necessarily uses all the tools that we see, but Scorpio uses tools in their spiritual toolbox to get where they want to go. Like often these people are sort of perceived as kind of witchy and doing all of these things that are different than what other people are doing. It doesn't make it weird, doesn't make it wrong or anything. It's just a different way of approaching business. So in business, it's really good to use your abilities to help the transformation in others, because Scorpio is very much related to the death and rebirth cycle. So really use this to help others go through that very deep spiritual transformation, because you understand it on such a deep level that you can guide others into that transformation way faster than maybe somebody else could. This is also a little bit where it gets tricky. If you think about a scorpion, it has a very sharp tail. That is also what scorpions can do when they feel threatened. So as a Scorpio, when you feel like somebody has betrayed you, whether that is fair or not, it's very easy for you to just lash out with your tail, be very resentful over what happened, and it can be very hard to forgive others. Remember, it's a fixed water sign, so it can get fixed and stuck in that resentment. But in the end, you're only gonna hurt yourself and stall yourself by staying in that place of resentment. The moment you can forgive the other person, now that doesn't mean that you have to condone with what they did, but forgive the person will set you free so you can go even further into the direction. The same time with not embracing the whole death and rebirth cycle that you're in, you probably experience a lot of really high highs and also very low lows. But this is a part of rising up. I mean, think about the phoenix. She rises up from her own ashes, and that's exactly what happens with a lot of Scorpio energy. Some things have to burn completely to the ground, done, finished, over, so that something new can blossom and start again. Don't fight this. This is something that is part of who you are in your business, but also in your personal life. So acknowledge the fact that you go through these waves, and this is who you are, and this is part of the learning. The next sign up is the very last sign of the zodiac, and that is Pisces. And Pisces is a mutable mutable water sign, which means that it flows wherever it wants to flow. Now, as the last sign of the zodiac, it's also the most empathic one out there. It feels everything. It's almost like a sponge. When a Pisces goes out with a dry sponge, it just absorbs all the energy of people around it, and it holds it. It just takes it in and then just locks it in its body. So for a Pisces, it's really important to keep your own sponge saturated with the energies that you cultivate. And then when you go out and you sense other people's energy, you sense it, but it doesn't come in. It doesn't become part of who you are. And that is really the most important thing for Pisces to know. This is my energy. That is your energy. So it's really important to help yourself to block out the external energies, and to block out for the energies not to come in and be like overwhelming to you. So it's really good for you to tune into that before you go out. And the best ways to do this are spiritual practices. So for instance, meditation, because meditation keeps the connection with with your higher self, with the divine open, as well as grounding you and putting you back in your body. Because the last thing you want to do is cut that connection with the divine. Some Pisces do that and then they numb out. So they binge watch TV like crazy, or they even do drugs or food, anything to numb out. But actually that has the opposite effect, because you will feel worse. Because you're ignoring the feeling, you're ignoring the connection, and you're not really doing anything with it. Now, in your business, you are so sensitive to things that you pick up on things so easily. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go into healing practices or that you have to have some kind of psychic practice or spiritual, but it really helps you to tap in to that psychic ability within your business. So whether you have a business purely focused on that or not, it really helps you to feel things. Whereas other people have to use their rational mind to make decisions and to understand things, you should trust really on your intuition and let your intuition guide you in your business. As with all the water signs, you still need the structure. We all do. But you still need to set up the structure so that you can stay in your dreamy world. And it's okay to dream and to let your mind wander. Create enough space for that in your business so you can actually do that. Because you dream on a different level, really a higher level, I would say, it is sometimes harder to grab those concepts and put them actually into your business. But trust that whatever is shown to you, trust that the inspiration that you get is there because you can transform it. You can help other people with that. So it's really trusting your own inner guidance system and knowing that that is something that is there for a reason. If you do all of that and make sure that you have set up very clear boundaries, and this takes work to set up good boundaries, to communicate with them, with others, but have people around you who either they have to respect your boundaries, but maybe you could also have people around you who help you reinforce your boundaries. See if you find it hard to keep the boundaries, to set them and to maintain them, have people around you who can help you with maintaining your boundaries so that you can stay in your creative zone, that you can stay in your beautiful imaginary way of doing business instead of having to really focus on the practical and dealing with lots of people, because probably you don't enjoy being around people that much. Maybe you do, but for a short period of time, and then you just want to be by yourself, and totally honor that feeling. You don't have to do business like anybody else. Do business the way that works for you, the way that fills you up, so that you don't get overwhelmed with what other people are doing and saying and creating, and you can stay in your own lane. And that is the most important thing for you to do. Now, if you're ready to dive deeper and to learn more about your own astrological profile, how to maximize your productivity without having to spend more energy, I have an amazing offer to you. Every quarter, I open the doors to my group program, the quarterly sessions, where we're going to dive into your personal astrological profile, as well as what is happening with the energies in the sky at that time, so that you can plan your whole quarter ahead based on your energy. So you will learn how to use your creative energy. You will know when your resting phases will hit you. You know when there's a peak in communication. When you know all those things, you have the foundation set up so you can truly stay in your own creative, your own flow state, and you can do business from a place of ease and abundance and joy, instead of having to grind really hard because you haven't set up the right systems so you can really stay in your zone of genius. So I invite you to join our quarterly sessions. They're always done in a group, so you have the group accountability, and for 3 months we're going to keep track of each other's progress and cheer each other on, because we women need to cheer each other on and support each other. So I can't wait to see you there.